Hi, I'm Jill Barth. I'm the HR Tech Editor at HR Executive, and we're here on the expo floor in the HRE studio at HR Tech Conference 2023. We have one of the most important people in Vegas with us right now, Steve Boese. He's a good friend of the publication. He's HR Tech Conference Chair. He also is a columnist for the publication, so he's spending a couple minutes with us in his busy schedule.
Hey, it's great to be here, Jill.
Yep.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm good. So Steve and I got to work together this summer with a lot of the top product planning, and I know that was a big part of preparing for this.
Sure was.
Could you tell the readers just a little bit about why this is such a big event for our industry, why it's a highlight of bringing people together?
Yeah, so there's a long history here at this event, 25 years plus. Really the first event of its kind, really focusing on human resources and workplace technologies more broadly, and it's grown certainly over the 2-decade plus period, and it's really by virtue of its longevity, its association with Human Resource Executive, of course, right, the premier publication for HR leaders in America. It's cemented itself as the main or the most important HR technology conference, really not just in the United States, but globally as well. Every year it's grown in terms of size, scope, attendance, and importance to our industry. And we say this a lot, but there's no more important time, I think, for this industry, as the challenges facing most organizations and most HR leaders have almost never been so complex.
And it's a challenging time, but I think that as we can see, there's a lot of vitality out here on the expo floor. We've got a lot of attendees and vendors. Have you seen any exciting trends or anything that you're walking away with from this particular event?
It's hard to keep giving the same answer to this question because I've been asked a number of times, hey, what's the big story at HR Tech this year? And I'm trying to come up with a different answer, but I can't. The answer is probably AI, right? And that's what most folks are talking about. That's what many attendees have come here to learn about. That's what a predominant number of our exhibitors are here to talk about as well, as they've incorporated more and more AI technologies and capabilities into their solutions. And it seems to be the number one conversation over the last few days here, and probably will continue to be for quite a while.
You know what I think is interesting about the conversations that I've heard here and from some of the speakers is how to take what they've learned as HR leaders back to their organization and maybe not necessarily convince the other leaders, but to share something that's still abstract for some types of people with that AI. Do you have any advice for people to take what they've learned today and bring it back to their leadership teams?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the key here is to focus on the use cases and then the outcomes, and not get too caught up in the technology itself. And often the provider community, bless them, often like to talk about technology first and technological innovation first, and maybe only later about business outcomes and the impact that these technologies have on people, have on organizations. So for me, if I were an HR leader considering either the introduction of new AI solutions in the organization or engaging with new providers, right, who may be offering AI capabilities, is to really think about how those AI capabilities will be used or could be used in the organization, and what business outcomes am I really interested in driving towards, and then trying to figure out what the best use of the AI technology could be, and not get caught up in the words and the technological morass, which because it can be kind of complicated. So I think about the business needs first and the outcomes you're trying to drive before the tools themselves.
And do you think this event's been a good learning opportunity for folks in the HR field that want to become more versed on HR tech, AI, just kind of the zeitgeist, and kind of come back and start these conversations?
Yeah, I really think so, because HR Technology Conference, as you mentioned, is grown so much. It's very broad. We cover the full gamut, right, of human resources technology capabilities. So from payroll to workforce management to certainly all the talent management capabilities, recruiting, benefits, well-being, emerging categories that we're learning about more and more, things like talent intelligent platforms and such. So for an HR leader, you can come to an event like this and get immersed in case studies, learn from other peer organizations about how their experiences with technology. You can see firsthand demos of technology and hold pretty in-depth meetings with the provider community. You can hear thought leaders who are sharing the latest in research about the impact these technologies are having in industries and in the workforce more broadly. And then, of course, the networking, right?
Yep.
Like, one of the best opportunities for attendees at a conference like this, since we have so many attendees really from every size organization, every industry, many countries as well, is to get to know and get to learn from other attendees as well, and the myriad of networking opportunities and social opportunities that an event like this affords. So often it's been said in the past that this conference is a way to do 6 months of market research in 1 week, right?
It is true.
And that's a good way to look at it. If your organization is really interested in either acquiring new technology, making the most of existing technology investments, or simply maybe trying to develop a 2, 3, 5 year plan, right, for your technology roadmap, this is a great place to get a lot of that research done in a very short time.
I think so too. It seems also really useful to see how some players that have been in the space for a long time and then comparing kind of what's new and on the horizon. It's just a way to see it all without, you don't have to do anything but walk around and have some great conversations.
Yeah, it's certainly a time saver, and it can be an exhausting week, right? The expo hall is massive, and there are hundreds and hundreds of sessions, and it can be challenging to sort of plan your schedule. But if you go into it with a little bit of a plan, a little bit of thoughtfulness, if there are 1 or 2 or 3 areas of focus that you may have in particular for your organization. For example, if payroll compliance was an issue for your organization, or perhaps your organization is growing and your current provider can't meet your needs, you could go visit a dozen payroll providers in an afternoon here at the HR Tech Conference, and then compare your notes afterwards of the show, and something that would take you a few weeks to do probably in your home office.
Yeah, and the app is really helpful.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very organized, easy to find what you need when you want to follow something specifically. So.
Yeah, it really is. The app is a great way to find content, find exhibitors, figure out what's happening. Honestly, I use it every 5 times a day when I'm here at the conference to try to figure out where I'm going, right? So it's really useful piece of capability.
Okay, one last question. You got to speak with Gina Davis yesterday, which I know we were all probably a little jealous because she's just such a force. Do you get to have star-studded moments like that a lot at HR Tech?
I have, yeah, over the years. We had Gina Davis here this year, and she was fantastic, really warm and funny and very quirky sense of humor.
Yeah.
We got to spend I'd say the better part of an hour with her yesterday, and she was fun. Got to do a little Q&A with her on stage. She was great. Over the years, we've had other celebrity-type keynote speakers who've come to HR Tech. Some of my favorites were Barbara Corcoran, the soccer star Abby Wambach was fantastic. My favorite was probably Mike Rowe from the Dirty Jobs fame.
Yep.
He came to HR Tech a number of years ago, and a couple of us got to have dinner with him.
Nice.
The night before, because he just wanted to know more about this event, about who comes to this event, and really to try to craft his message for our audience. And a 1-hour meeting turned into a 3.5-hour dinner, which is one of the highlights of my HR Tech experience over the years. So it's great because I think the attendees appreciate hearing some of these great stories, these personal stories. They connect with these speakers. They know them, or they think they know them, right, because of their careers, various industries. But it's a fun way to kind of kick off the conference on a real high note. We had a great time with Gina Davis yesterday here.
Yeah, everyone really enjoyed her in the audience.
Yeah, she was great.
Pretty great. Well, thank you so much for all of your time and for sharing your thoughts with us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Really great
to be here.
Yeah, thanks, Steve.
Thank you.